You're not going to believe this. So we just got a phone call from the mayor saying because of the Knicks winning, we can keep going until 12:30 instead of 12. So this is amazing.
Wait, I thought mayors were supposed to take bribes and terrorize homeless people. Zohran Mamdani, the Knicks, and New York are on an all-time high right now, and it's honestly amazing to watch, especially since the most incredible things are happening in the background where no one is looking. Not to take anything away from the beautiful sight on the streets of New York that Mamdani made possible.
You see what it's about. Look what it's about. What are you talking about? This man right here got the Knicks in the finals 2 games away from winning the whole thing. That's what this is about in the city that everybody's here feeding off the energy, man. And we coming home. We coming home.
You might be asking yourself, wait a minute, I didn't see Mamdani in that video. Well, it's the existence of that crowd at all that Zohran made possible, thanks to being a real man of the people in ways that makes all of us outside of New York sick with jealousy. This crowd gathering outside of Madison Square Garden for an outside watch party is something that had been phased out in recent years due to concerns from the worrywarts over at the NYPD, despite it being a community favorite event. And community events have kind of been Zohran's whole thing lately. Plus, as we can see from his posts, he himself is a massive Knicks fan. He was posting all the way through the Knicks' journey to the finals, and people were obviously appreciating the support, but on top of that, you can see that they were begging for outdoor watch parties. Give the people their block parties that the NYPD doesn't think they deserve, and that they're literally begging for. These comments mounted into real pressure on the mayor's office, which the right tried to weaponize as a moment of truth for the mayor, which, of course, hilariously backfired on them because they can't think as far as they can walk. If you've seen a Trump rally, clearly isn't very far. In Zohran's New York, however, in the lovingly named Mamdani stand, your pleas fall on benevolent ears.
We saw New Yorkers celebrate everywhere that they could find.
As the Knicks were sailing through the Eastern Conference Finals against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the NYPD said they no longer support watch parties here outside of Madison Square Garden after large crowds turned from cheering to chaos, leading to some arrests. Despite the ban, a number of fans still showed up outside of MSG to celebrate the Knicks' victory over the Cavs. And some fans are disappointed they can't celebrate at the home of the team.
It kind of sucks because this fan base is hungry. We haven't won a championship in over 50 years.
Mayor Mamdani, a Knicks fan himself, was asked about it.
We're looking forward to making sure that it is a time for New Yorkers to celebrate. It's a time where they're also safe. And we're going to have a number of different kinds of watch parties. And we'll get back to you as we keep going through those plans.
It's a no-brainer. Of course he promised to bring back block parties. Past mayors would have just fallen in line with the NYPD. Oh, sorry everyone, I know you want it and I'm elected to do what you want, but the police said no, so no fun. Well, finally those days are over. Elon legalized comedy and Zohran legalized fun.
Mayor Mamdani, live on 1010 Wins, tells us there will be a watch party tonight outside the Garden for Game 2.
There is a watch party outside of MSG this evening.
Nice.
And this is part of the city wanting to be ready to ensure that every New Yorker can enjoy themselves.
But His Honor wants to make sure everyone is having a good time and staying safe.
As much as we want New Yorkers to be able to enjoy themselves, I would like to remind New Yorkers to not jump on any emergency vehicles or ambulances or to block their passage.
And he plans to attend Game 3.
Yeah, I'm paying for my own ticket.
He saved up his money for the not-so-cheap seats.
Last time I went with the public advocate, Jumaane Williams. We were up in the nosebleeds. This time I'll be there with a few friends. And I know that the president will also be coming. I can tell you that I won't be courtside or in a suite, but I can't wait to see the game.
The aura is so strong with Zohran, they're even writing about the sauce all the way down here in Texas, pointing out that he invited Wemby to the Coach meeting as a cheeky distraction. But this also, incidentally, highlights the other reason why New York is so up right now. This is the second meeting of Coach that he invited Wemby to, but I bet most people didn't even realize that there was a first, and likely missed the revolution that's happening behind the scenes.
What has always struck me working in government, whether it was the CUNY budget office or the governor's office or working in the city during COVID, was not that what should be hard was hard, but that what should be easy was also hard. Right? Taking care of young children is really hard. I have 3 kids. You can find me any weekend day and I will testify it is really hard. But like getting that kid's name to appear on your roster or getting that kid a copy of the textbook they need or the Omni card they need, like that shouldn't be hard. Digging a water tunnel seems incredibly hard. But getting the approvals you need to initiate the construction process, that should be easy. Shoveling a ton of snow really fast, that's really hard. But purchasing a new snowplow should be easy. You know, my middle kid this morning asked me like what this commission is all about. And I was struggling to explain this to a 6-year-old. And I said, I just want my friends to be able to do their jobs.
That is the kind of attitude that public officials are supposed to have, an attitude of helping, not controlling. And I say behind the scenes, but this is very much public. It's just a YouTube video on a channel that was made last week that has 1 subscriber. But this is what I mean. This is the kind of boring stuff that Zohran understands matters. A new kind of governance that holds itself accountable even when they don't think that other people are watching. And this commission is not just a joke on Doge. That was a brilliant play because the right isn't going to take this commission seriously now. What they think is just a jab at Elon is actually a commission that holds real power. Power that they're making sure no one is going to try to stand in the way of.
Point of clarification regarding the powers that you mentioned before on the issue of preemption. If, for instance, this commission looks into, say, procurement reform, as an example, and there are purviews within the procurement policy board, would it be, which would supersede the other? Like if the commission takes amendment to that, would the board be able to overrule or overturn or amend those recommendations by the voters, right? Obviously they have the ultimate say so, but does it work the other way around?
I would say in all, I think you would take precedence. The Charter Revision Commission and the changes that you make to the charter and approve and are codified in the charter upon approval by the voters, I think that would take precedence over anything the PPB would want to do to change those rules later.
The commission's going to hold 10 public hearings in all 5 of the boroughs, and then they'll deliver a real measurable plan that the voters will be able to vote on in November. This is exactly how government is supposed to work. When you see it, it's fun. When you don't see it, it's behind the scenes making your life better in ways you'll never know. Unless, of course, you subscribe to US Democratic Socialists. I'm Tony Hinderman, and I'll catch you next time.